Okay, let's move on to this week's game. Obviously, the Cowboys going on the road last season in Minnesota won one of the few games that they won at all last year and upset the Vikings. CeeDee Lamb had a great game, a memorable catch in the end zone, and Ezekiel Elliott had his only 100-yard rushing game of the season. But the Vikings have some toys there, specifically in Dalvin Cook, a running back who was like every other running back in the NFL last season, who ran for like 3,000 yards against the Cowboys in one game. As we look here and as we make our fantasy predictions for this game, obviously the Cowboys, you're going to pick those guys. You're going to go from, Greg Zuerlein, the kicker, or Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Amari Cooper's a good pick. Maybe Cedric Wilson will surprise you. But, I'm looking at this from fantasy points, not necessarily whether wins or losses, but in terms of fantasy points, it would not surprise me if the Cowboys get out ahead comfortably and we see Kirk Cousins rack up some disgusting garbage time stats. I'm not a Kirk Cousins guy. I think he's overrated. He's certainly overpaid compared to some of these other guys who got big contracts. But if you're in a pinch and you need a quarterback, I know this is dicey. Kirk Cousins is not a bad pickup because this is the type of game where you could see him go for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns in a blowout. Like, he just racks up garbage numbers. So I know the other ones are slam dunks, but if you're in a pinch and you just need a quarterback, don't be as scared of Kirk Cousins just because he's playing Dallas.
All right, there's no question. Last year, Kirk Cousins played for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys, and no interceptions. He had a good game. They lost the game. Dalvin Cook had 127 yards rushing and a touchdown. They lost to the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. One of the best games the Cowboys played all season. But I'm going to go with Amari Cooper.
Good pick. I like that one.
I'm going to go with the Vikings cornerbacks are trash. They're awful, and they like the pressure. And I think that, this is the time for Amari Cooper to go off. Everybody's excited about, what CeeDee Lamb did last week. And so now it's Amari Cooper's turn.
All right, well, let's make a prediction for the game. You and I have done pretty well so far this season because the Cowboys have done pretty well. So we've been
covering machine. Cowboys are a covering machine. If you're a gambler, the Cowboys have been a covering machine all season.
Yep, and that's always tricky. And you talked about before we started here that
as well as the over.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's pretty significant. That Minnesota is streaking. This is a big game for them because they're only 3-3, and they kind of need a quality win. I mean, quality of the NFL, you just need a win. But I got to tell you, I think Dallas is going to cover this one. If Dak Prescott is playing, and it's not just that he's playing, it's the way he's playing. He's doing things that as a passer, very few guys do. You could take any guy off the street and he can get him paid. And he's doing that right now. And as long as he's playing and he's all right, I'm not betting against this team. What about you for Sunday night?
No question. Again, the Cowboys have been money in the bank. If you do those sort of things all season, and you look at this Viking team, they're at 3-3, and they won 2 straight, but they beat nobody and they played nobody. They struggled to beat in the last game the Carolina Panthers in overtime. So I just don't see them being able to keep up with the Cowboys. Again, I see the Cowboys, 35-28 again, something like that, 36-28.